understanding the data. Now, I had some slides for this, but we're actually going to go right into the iReady program because they've actually changed things pretty recently. So I want you to be up to date on understanding which reports will give you the best information that you are looking for. So I'm in iReady, and I click on the reports page. Now you'll see I have class reports and I have student reports. Right now I'm looking for class reports, and I see that there are 4 different kinds of reports. There's class profile, class norms, instructional grouping profile, and class response to instruction. Now the class profile will show me how my students have done on the test that they have taken. Either tests they took at the beginning of the year, a recent test, and actually when I select this class, I will say, I want you to show me how they did on tests that they took in the fall, in the winter, and soon I will be adding a spring as well. Class norms. This shows you how your class compares to a normal group of students at this level, kind of an average students. Where do my students lie? Instructional grouping is something that you could use to figure out how to group students, but really this is such kind of high level data that it's really not as useful as any kind of running record or standard by standard breakdown that you might be doing yourself. Class response to instruction. Now this shows you how your students are doing on the lessons they are taking. This is the only class report that shows you how students are doing on the instruction, on the lessons they are taking. This is the only thing that's going to change unless you reassign a test, in which case the profile and the norms and the grouping profile will change as well. But the response to instruction is the only thing that reflects the lessons that students are doing every week. So I look, yes, academic year, yes, select them by class, yes, I want to look at my math class. If not, I would click here and select my reading class. And I want you to show fall, winter, added window. So you select, when do you want to see student activity? I actually want to look at student activity from the last month. So I'm going to click on last month. And when I create this report, it's going to show me how students were doing on the instruction in the past month. So I run this report and I see that in this class, there were 109 lessons completed in the past month, with a total time of on task of 43 hours and 9 minutes. I can scroll down and I can see specific students, and I can see how many lessons they've completed, their overall pass percentage, and what domains those are in. I also see that I have a student who has an orange triangle next to it. And this orange triangle is telling me that this student is having some trouble. And I can see there's an overall pass rate of 57%. But if I didn't see that before, this orange exclamation mark really helps me see that. This report is also the only report that will allow you to click on the name, and it will actually open up the student response to instruction. So it will show you specifically for this student how this student has been doing in the lessons. Student response to instruction, class response to instruction, the only 2 reports that really hold valuable data that changes from week to week. So I'm going to click on this student, and I'm going to see this student is a 3rd grade student, but currently they are working in numbers and operations and moving up towards 2nd grade from where they started, which was a beginning 1st grade level. Now I look down here and I see, okay, completed all these in numbers and operations. You may be asking, why are they only doing numbers and operations? And that is probably because overall this student was at least at second grade level for algebra and algebraic thinking, measurement and data, and geometry. And so what they do is they try to make sure that the student has equal footing in all four of these mathematical domains. If this student was at third grade level for everything except geometry, then they would give them a lot of geometry lessons starting wherever they needed and bring them up to third grade before they would give them any lessons in any of the other domains. Now, as I scroll down, I see that this student had trouble with regrouping tens as ones, and they failed it twice actually. And one time spent quite a bit of time on here trying to work on that. So this tells me that regrouping tens as ones, this is something that I should check in with this student on. And I may have to teach a lesson about it. Now, you may be asking, how do I find resources on teaching this lesson? I will actually show you that a little bit later. But right now, it's just something to notice that this student really needs support in regrouping tens as ones. And we'll come back to that in a little bit, how I can teach this student or how I can work with this student. Now I can select this back button right here, and it will actually take me back to the class report on instruction. And I can see for the rest of the students how they are doing. This is just in the past month. So you see some students, there's no activity. They may have been absent the days that we went. They may have been actually doing reading instead of math. So just because there's no activity does not mean these students have not been working, because they could have been working in another subject. They also could still be working on one assignment, and until they finish that lesson, it's not going to show that they've done anything here. Now I see another student who has an orange exclamation mark. I'm going to click on that student, and I'll see that this student, as I scroll down, is having trouble. Oh, the same thing, regrouping tens as ones, although this student eventually got it the second time. But that may still be another student that I want to pull into a group to focus on regrouping tens as ones.